welcome back to the homestead. It is Friday in our week, and I am just drinking my coffee. It's almost 9. There's a couple kids outside, other kids are still in bed. Um, Friday is our slow day for the week. We usually take a Sabbath on Friday. This week, we actually took Monday off because people were sick, we weren't feeling good, and that Monday is usually a really hard work day for us. So today we're going to do a little bit of catch up. There'll be a couple things that happen. Bread has to be made, the winter sowing has to happen, and I told myself that the last week of March is my final week to clean out all of our spaces. During the wintertime, I take a room a week and I clean out the space. And what I'll do is so many different things. It's not just about deep cleaning, it's also about cleaning out. I'll sort things, I'll organize things. I'm actually really good about keeping a space in which we only have things that we use or things that we find dear and near to our hearts. That's something I want for our space because rather than having all the things and stuff, I would rather spend time with my kids than be dusting trinkets or play a game or crochet or sew rather than deep cleaning the house all the time. I'd like to be able to keep my house at a maintained level. This does not mean that we do not have clutter. And if you've been to my house in the past week, my dryer is torn apart. My island is covered in stuff. It's just part of having a homestead. There's certain zones that are always busy or dirty or covered in things. And I want to make that very real for you guys. But this week, I thought I'd kind of take you along on our final hurrah, which is the basement.
So let me take you down to our basement with me. I am doing this as a voiceover because it was a little hard to hold the camera and figure stuff out. When I say basement, this is not a usable basement as far as like an area where I could do anything other than storage. You can see we have paint cans. There's my black trash can. I've got all sorts of things on these shelves. This is after we've sorted a bunch and pulled out a bunch of just straight up trash. There's Windex here from the owner who was here previous. We've actually been kind of working through that. This is an area I still need to sort. And then behind that is my pantry storage where I have stored all the things that I have put up and a few things that we've gotten from places like Costco or Sam's Club when we shop there. This corner, my hope, will be a dry storage for pantry or what I call the root cellar. We did find some cool things down here and I will show you more of those later. That's just a couple of them. This area was where the washer and dryer used to be, and there was a bunch of things there. We found some pickled or canned asparagus and some sweet beans as well, and I'm assuming both of those are from 2017. They're still sealed. I don't know what's going to happen with them. Probably send them out to the pigs. That's just not something that I want to have right now. There's this old stove down here from the previous owner. They had used that for canning, and this is just a mechanical room back here. As you can see, things get wet and there's water on the floor. This is typically in spring. We'll end up with some puddles, and then the floor stays pretty dry the rest of the time. The one piece that I do need to figure out, like I said, I want to get this area here as my root cellar. So I'm trying to really go through this area and not have it be as cluttered. Oh, another cool thing I found down here. Not even sure what that is. I'm assuming some old type of electrical something or other. All right, and then yeah, that's kind of what we did down there working, and these are the steps I still have to clean. So this is some of the things I found down there. You can see I made a bucket of them. These are things that I don't want. I will probably end up selling or throwing them away if they hold no value. Pretty sure that's a tulip planter. There's a sifter. There's some old pots that I would consider vintage, not necessarily antique. But there are a couple cool things I did find that I do want to keep. There's this old iron with its stand. I think that would be awesome to have just sitting here on the homestead as a display piece. Some different little trinkets like this bottle. I love this old bottle. It's not super old, but it's old enough that I'm happy to display it as part of my decor. And then a couple of pottery dishes, a scoop, just different little things that I am excited, like I said, to display on my homestead. Hey guys, so it's been a couple days. I am coming to you from our basement steps because it is the quietest place in the house right now. Just a little wrap up of this video. So how I personally sort stuff, and this is just an overall view on sorting. What did we do with the stuff that was in the basement? Well, first off, anything that was broken or moldy, which is an issue that we're having right now with everything being so damp down there, that all went into the trash immediately. I got big, thick black trash bags. So I took a big construction bag down there and I started just by putting anything that was broken in there. Then I made a pile of things that I hadn't used in the last 9 months. There's a reason for this. So my thought process with the 9-month rule, if I haven't used it in the last 9 months, I most likely won't use it again. Here's why. That gets me through every single season. So if it's something that we use in one season but not another, that covers the 9-month. Sometimes people can use 6 months, but here in Michigan, it has to be 9 because of how our seasons work. I find it's just much easier to say, okay, have I used it in the last 9 months? If I didn't use it in the last 9 months, I put it in a pile and I looked at it and said, realistically, am I going to use it again? There was 3 piles for that stuff, either trash, donate, or yard sale. Not anything I think from the basement made it to yard sale that was a haven't used in the last 9 months. Most everything down there was so far gone. We had food things that had been canned so many years ago and we hadn't eaten. That was gonna go to the pigs and not bother going anywhere else. And then all those jars will get cleaned and put back on our shelves. But it's just stuff like that you're like, not gonna use this. Not a big deal. We'll just totally clean it out, move on. The previous owner of this house saved everything. And I had gone through a couple times in the basement just to get things out because we'd had some issues with boxes molding. The boxes got wet, then they molded. Oh, it was such a mess down there. So glad that I had the ability to clean it out, but I don't ever want to get back to that. And in that clean out, I'd clean out a bunch of stuff. So this was more things that I hadn't found in that initial clean out. So a couple of antique items, a couple of just things that he had bought. And I was like, nope, don't need this. And then there was a few items that I'm like, hey, this is kind of cool. And I saved it and I put it aside. Our plan is to have everything of value that is an antique or something that we don't want to use or display be sold so that we can take that money and put it into the property here to rehabilitate like some of the barn and some of the other outbuildings that we want to just see back to their original beauty. Sorting things for me really is just that easy. The 3 things. Straight up trash, go to the trash. Look at the 9-month pile and figure out where things go in the 9-month pile. Do I want it? Am I really going to use it? Is someone else going to use it, or is this just beyond any use and that's why I haven't used it? And then of course the pile of things that I really do want, or they're antiques and I would like to sell them, or they hold some value and I would like to sell them. That is how I go through all of my rooms that I have. And that's how we've gone through every single room this winter, just taking one room a week and doing it. The reason we only take one room a week, I probably could get it done in a month if I really pushed myself. But the reason we only take one room a week is because winter is a time of rest. And taking that time of rest is so important. On days like today where there's snow and I know I'm not going to be getting outside to do outside things, I want to focus on that rest so that I'm not completely worn out in the spring and summer months from working all winter long as well. I hope you enjoyed this little view of how we clean out things and cleaning out of our basement, and I am looking forward to sharing more with you next week. See you later.